Hello, welcome to the Evil Pig Podcast, a month in review for September. I'm Jonathan Moore, the lead game designer.
I'm Megan Slade, the lead artist.
I'm Natalie Thompson, the lead programmer.
Very nice intro,
Well,
Megan.
we always do it the same, so, I think it's time to start changing things up a little bit.
All right, understandable. Why not, with your intro, let's go ahead and just get started on what you've been doing this month, Megan.
Okay. Just go ahead and dive right in.
Yeah, let's dive right in. Let's get into it.
I finished all the small enemies, so I'm done with all the basic enemies that are gonna get reused throughout the entire game.
Which is a huge milestone, because now we can actually start filling out the world with the enemies. Speaking of which, I need to get with Natalie after the podcast on that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I finished that. I had the last two enemies, which were the pig ones. I haven't put in sprite sheets because I was tired of looking at them and I wanted to do something else. And so I moved on. Natalie started doing the programming stuff, and so she asked me to start slowly coloring in the sprite sheets for the cats, because before I just had it as a wireframe, and she's like, no, color it in. I'm like, okay. So I'm going through, and I started off with Major Tom. So he's got his idle colored, his walking and running colored, and that includes all the variations with his arm going up and down, and the different angles. And that's what I have so far on that.
I know that
Yeah.
Major Tom is probably going to be used for the stand-in for all the other cats in the beginning. It's just going to make sure
Yeah.
that we actually have what we need.
That's what I was planning on doing. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then just making a script to change the controller at some point and be the controllers each cat.
Yeah. And then I started working on the bosses. Well, yeah,
One boss.
one boss.
I mean, they're all basically already the base. What would it be?
They're designed.
Their
There you go.
design, there we go, is already done. Except for one. One of them still isn't done, and that's
Yeah.
the final boss.
Yeah.
But we'll get into all the bosses here shortly. I know that the first one that we're working on is Jolectro,
Yeah, that's the first one I started.
which is actually the third boss in the game.
Yeah, because he gets another kind of introduction thing with a different form.
Oh, come on, Megan. Don't spoil it. You're always going on to me about spoiling things.
Oh, well.
I
But
think it's fine to spoil that kind of thing.
I really liked that one's design, and so I want to animate that one, but then I was like, I want to animate his first stage or whatever first.
Yeah, you want to actually get that out of the way before you get
Yeah,
into
that
the...
way I have a base for the other one.
Yeah. I know that you're excited to animate the
The other one, yes.
Yeah, the second stage.
I remember when I designed him, because I think I liked him the most when I was designing enemies or the bosses, and I was excited. I already had ideas of what to do for his animation, especially whenever he comes onto the stage or something. I was like, I had this thing in my head. I'm like, that'll be so cool. So that's the thing I'm excited for.
I know it looks really cool.
Yeah.
The second stage. I know that I'm really excited for the animal enemies in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bosses, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
And I know as well this month we've run into a little bit of other trouble, mainly with Natalie. Her charger stopped working.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a new charger because last month, if you watch this, you know my charger wasn't working then. And we got a new one, and I worked for 2 weeks, and I got the level tile mapped out. I got the character animations, for at least 5 different animations, and I got it to change different states within the animation so they could lock left and right and jump and all that jazz. But but then we bought a dud because it only lasted 2 weeks, so I have to go back and buy another charger.
Speaking of which, I didn't even ask you this. Were you able to pull the files from...
No, I didn't notice until my computer was dead because I went to plug it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's all saved. So,
It's all saved on the computer.
yeah.
That is dead.
Yeah.
All right. So we need to get that fixed again. Okay then.
I was making a lot of progress though. I worked on the title screen. We have a pan animation going for that. I was trying to work on the navigation buttons, and I was trying to do a fade in effect, and I realized I have to do a pretty complicated script because that isn't part of the animation panel in Unity. So that's a little annoying, but also I guess fun. Yay. And then, yeah, I got Megan because the reason I wanted her to color in Major Tom was because since it's sprite animation, you'd have to redo all the animations over again, and that wouldn't be it's not like the sprite one or the outline one wasn't going to be a real character, so it's just kind of a waste of my time to go through all the trouble making all those animations.
Trying to make it actually look good.
So, and I redid the whole world because it was already done, but they did it weirdly, so I had to go in and tile map it.
We were young and we didn't really know what we were doing. I mean, this game was basically started back whenever Megan and I were in college. So
Before we took a lot of game design classes.
yeah.
So
we didn't really know what we were doing back then. Now we do, though. We know what we're doing more. And people who are actually on our Patreon, you'll know what the title screen looks like already because we've already released that image for you guys on there.
It's the first digital poster we did.
For Feline Frontier.
Yeah, for Feline Frontier.
So that's something that you can look back on to actually know what the, I guess, title screen is going to look like a little bit.
kind of. Like, it's not going to be the whole thing, and you'll see. You'll have to open the game up, you know.
It's going to be animated. So.
There are going to be options on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a start button.
And there's going to be music to go with it, which the music I really like.
Yeah, the music is phenomenal. Made by yours truly.
I can see you're humble.
Speaking of which, I listened in. I know that last time we were talking about how I was going to listen in on Dylan, our sound guy's music that he made, and I did. And I know that he was saying that it sounded too cinematic for what we were doing because we're doing more of a noise music kind of thing going on, an ambience. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And but I was listening to it and I was telling him that it would be phenomenal for a what were those things? Those intro cinematics.
Yeah.
Where if you spin too
For like
long,
the demo.
yeah,
like
if you
the
spin
demo
too
thing.
long on the title
if
screen.
it's on the title screen for like 15 seconds or more, it'll start playing like a cool animation.
Yeah,
with the
just
song.
show some gameplay and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it talks about the game a little bit. So we decided that's probably what it's going to be for. Also, I need to get with him and talk to him about actually making music possibly for the bosses.
Okay.
Because
yeah, I think that'd be cool.
That would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
So throughout the game, the regular areas, it's going to be ambience music, but then as soon as you get to a boss, it's going to be all cinematic.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I think that's going to really fit the player into the world. It's going to immerse them a little bit more.
Yeah.
So as for me, I haven't really been working all too much on Feline Frontier. I've done a few more special effects animations. I've been more focused on other things, though.
I told Jonathan, since the boss animations are going to be a lot more complicated and everything, that he's going to be the one to color them. That way I can focus on the animation process. So
Yeah.
he can do all the tedious coloring, frame by frame stuff, while I actually do the animation.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the other things that I've been working on, though, are done, so I can get back to working on Feline Frontier stuff, primarily with the coloring and the animations and working back on the special effects. I know that there's one special effects that I kind of want to get back to. I've already messed with it twice now, but I want to mess with it a third time because I still think that doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
But the main things that I was working on was actually getting the company up and ready for an LLC proper. So we
Yeah.
are now actually an LLC signed on with the United States. So
Awesome.
We did
are good.
a lot of business stuff
a
recently.
lot of business, a lot of paperwork. I
Yeah.
mean, the binder that I have is huge,
Yeah, he got a huge binder in the mail
filled
that-
with legal documents.
that the mailman left out in the rain
Really?
without
Oh my
without
gosh.
a plastic bag.
The
and
box was all
it-
ruined.
the box was all soggy, but luckily the contents inside were good. It was also covered with little roly-poly bugs.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was
Why
just
would
like,
they do that?
I guess since it had been raining all week, they ran out of plastic bags or something. That's the only thing I can think
That's
of.
the only thing.
Otherwise,
Either that,
he was
or he
a
looked
jerk.
at it and it was just like, you know what? this probably doesn't have anything important in it.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it had something that was very, very important in it.
But again, luckily, the inside was fine. It's just the
That's
outside
good.
box that was, like, the shipping box that was all soggy.
Speaking of which, inside of that, we also now have an Evil Pig official seal.
Yeah.
So now we can actually seal papers and
Oh,
everything
really?
with the official Evil Pig Productions LLC seal.
I want to
Being-
see that.
Being like, this is official documentation of Evil Pig
You
Productions.
should make a video of you sealing something. And
I was thinking about actually just going out to random places and just randomly sealing things.
He was talking about bringing it to work and just doing that.
That's cool.
So we're going to go ahead and probably... Well, I want to go and randomly seal things. I think that'll be hilarious. Maybe even post a video of me randomly sealing things.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should post one on Patreon of the seal like that.
Just showing it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. You gotta...
I just imagine, like, busting out some old, like, really old high school homework papers or something that we still had and just, like, sealing it. I don't think I'd have any of those, though.
No, I know that whenever I was back in high school, I would throw away everything after the school year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to do with school.
The only thing I kept was, like, art from high school.
Yeah.
Oh, and all my creative writing journals.
I kept those too. You could go in through and seal away the bad stories.
The cringy stories that I wrote, yeah. And all the
Oh my
cringy
God.
art that I made.
And for the seal video, you can read them first.
No.
Yes.
Sealing.
It
No.
would be phenomenal.
No, that'd be so cringy.
Yeah, on Patreon there's a little like Snapchat thing. After 24 hours it'll delete. Let's just make it a 24-hour thing.
No, I don't need that.
It'll be great.
How about we look at your old stuff?
I mean, I'm fine with that. And
Well, that'll
There
be
we
fun.
go.
Yeah.
Your old stuff.
then we'll look at your old stuff.
No.
If I'm doing it, you have to
Only
do it.
my old art. Not any of my old stories. That's way too cringy.
Why not, Megan?
Because it's cringy.
They're all gonna be
I don't like to relive my old high school cringiness,
Well,
okay?
tell us just a little
it
tidbit.
haunts me all the time. It haunts me
It
all the
haunts you.
time. Every time I'm alone by myself, just working on stuff, I'll just have random flashbacks, and I'm just like, oh God, no!
It's like looking back at a
It's
war zone.
dangerous for me to be alone.
all my
right.
old stuff from high school was just bad fan fiction that I wrote.
Well, can we look at your stuff then?
I don't know.
Natalie?
I'd have to find it again. It's in a closet somewhere.
Locked away.
Yeah.
The dark closet. Forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, pretty much. Plus, I wasn't
Alright.
the best. We should find like Zach's stuff. I know he isn't in this, but we should just make fun of his
We're just gonna bring him into this.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's how he becomes part of the evil pig team. He contributes his old stuff.
What are you gonna do? Like a what is it called? A dramatic reading.
Right.
That'll be fun. A little like side section that we'll do. Dramatic reading by Zach Taylor.
I doubt he'll do it. I remember
don't
him
think-
like being really nervous about showing me stuff when we were doing like a group writing thing together just for fun, and he was really nervous about showing me stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's not gonna be showing anybody stuff. He's just gonna be in front of a microphone and he's gonna start to speak.
I don't.
Don't even tell him he's on. Just be like, hey, Zach, can you for some reason sit in this room by yourself?
In front of a microphone
no.
and read your old stories.
We'll sit there in front of him and everything, and then he'll ask, "Why is there a microphone in front of me?" I was like, "Don't worry, it's not even on." There we go. We found out what we're gonna do next.
Oh, there was one thing I just remembered was, so I was working on one of the animations for one of the characters, and he's hunched over a lot, and I was thinking it'd be really cool if he stood up straight while he walked, because that'd be really creepy. But then I was just like, he would be too tall, and then I thought about, like, wait a minute, what about the placement he would, like, in the map, in, like, certain tunnel areas? And so, because when I initially drew or designed the characters, I took up the entire height and width that Jonathan gave me, mostly the height. I tried to fill out the sprite box, I guess.
Mhm.
And then later I was just like, well, if I animate these, unless I want them to look really weird and stiff, they're gonna have to go outside that box. And so with the sprite sheets, there's this big, huge box around them so that they can move better. And then I was talking to Jonathan about the walking animation for one of the characters, and I'm just like, hey, it's gonna be this, like, a lot bigger than initially when I made it. Is that all right? And he was just like, no.
So what I was thinking, and I don't know the space very well or where he's supposed to be on the map, but if he was in places that didn't have like a ceiling above him, you could make a transition from him crunched over to when he gets out into the big space and standing up, and that would
I'm
be
not
creepy.
gonna
That would be
make 2 walking
yeah,
animations.
Okay.
that would be way too much work. Yeah. No, the
But-
plan that I have is I'm just gonna make it so that the tunnels are a little bit wider
Yeah, because I didn't realize this until
or
like
taller. Technically.
animating the last like small enemy, I guess, the last common one, not non-boss enemy, and I was just like, I don't want to have to go back and reanimate these things. That'd be a huge pain.
Yeah, it would be way too much work to actually go back and redo
Yeah.
everything.
Because it wouldn't
basically.
just be the walking animations, like the heavy punching animations. He like stands up taller, and the idle animations too.
So yeah, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to be making a lot of places a little bit wider, a little bit taller. I know that I've already done that for quite a few places, but the tunnels are still very short.
Have you done that in your version of the game, or
No.
where did you do that?
I haven't done that at all.
Oh, okay. I just
It
need to
sounded
make.
like you said you were already working on it.
Yeah.
I've done it in the past.
Oh, in the
Oh,
Where,
past.
I've already,
okay.
where it's already fixed in your version.
I
of
just
the
needed to
game.
make sure I had the updated version.
You have the
okay.
updated version. I just need to go back and do the tunnels now.
Okay.
That makes me think of when we were taking our level design class, and how our teacher was telling us about how a lot of people will make the level designs more accurate to the real life, but in reality, with like the game camera and models and stuff, you have to make it bigger.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have to think about that when you're making a level. So
Yeah.
you made this game before we took that class.
Yeah. Bigger is always better, apparently. Well,
As long as it's not like
As
too
long as
big
it's
where
not-
it's not
yeah.
looking weirdly barren. I've seen games like that. Usually,
yeah. You have to find the Goldilocks standard.
Can you get me the background for the first level? That nice big moon background.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, and like there's gonna be separate sprites. Like there's the background, and then there's like the planet in the background, and then there's the I think there might be a foreground thing with like the mountains. And the old programmer asked for that. That way he could make it move.
Oh,
You're talking about
okay.
the surface?
Yeah, the surface.
Yeah. I gotcha.
I have to. Did he tell you how he was gonna make it move?
If you don't want to make it move, then I can just flatten it.
Like I can. I just have to think about it because I'm like,
Yeah.
So
What exactly?
maybe he wanted different things to appear. Is that what he meant? Because
Well, I know.
No, it was just like the mountains would move while the sky was moving, kind of like.
oh, okay.
I can't
get
remember
it.
what it's called, but there's
Parallax.
a parallax animation. Yeah, there we
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or that for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
know why I remember
go. I don't know why
parallax.
you remember it that and I don't.
Also, I noticed, and I feel like it's just because I haven't read the whole game document and I just got
Which
into this.
you need to do.
Yeah. I think you need to sit me down and have a PowerPoint presentation.
It's not the point of the game document.
But I noticed there's night versions of everything.
Yes.
Okay, so when's that come into? Like, are we doing real days in the game?
Yes, it's supposed to
Okay.
be. It's a whole thing in the design document where it says that every day is 5 hours. It's 3 hours for daytime and 2 hours for nighttime.
Okay.
So,
I have to figure that out too.
yeah. And you have 5 days in total in order to
Are
actually.
you gonna have like
complete-
a sunset and everything?
No.
Oh wait, no, it's a
It's
space alien planet. I thought.
It's space alien planet. It's a moon.
It's on the moon.
Oh, okay.
The Meow.
Meow.
It's in space.
I mean, technically, the Earth is in space too.
Is that it?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that because this is why I rationalized that it wasn't on the moon. I was like, how do they want their jumps? Like, did you want them like moon jumps or did you want it like normal gravity jumps?
I mean, technically, normal gravity jumps to them would be like 1 square height. That's why they're jumping
Well, it's just that the
Do you
moon
want them to
has
be
low
floaty?
gravity. Yeah,
floaty.
that's
Hmm.
what.
See, I remember the last programmer was kind of asking me about that, and I think that we settled on it being. I settled on it being more like a Super Metroid jump.
Because I was thinking it was a different planet because then you could just assume that it had normal gravity, you know? But if it's the moon, everyone knows the moon doesn't have normal
It's not going to
gravity.
be too floaty because I feel like as if it's too floaty, then it's going to take the player.
Yeah.
Like, it's
gonna
not as
be
precise.
weird, yeah.
Yeah. The only
Plus-
time where it's going to be floaty kind of is whenever you're underwater.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if it was floaty all the time, it would like
It would
players wouldn't want to jump because you're timed, and if you're floaty, you know, you're wasting time.
It would be
going
hard
down.
to move, yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's not going to be floating.
Okay, so it's not realistic. Got it.
Most games aren't.
I know. It's the
Besides
cat
that-
moon. It's not even Earth's moon, guys.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
not-
different moon.
Yeah, it's different altogether.
There we go.
It just has
There's
more
life on
gravity.
this moon. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if life could really. That would be weird. Could life develop in a place where there's not really that much gravity at all?
I think it
I
could.
don't know. I think it has to do with the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Not really. But I'm not a scientist. So.
I'm not a scientist either.
Well,
I
I mean,
don't
isn't
know.
the atmosphere created from the gravity though? Like it
I see. I
pulls
was
the
thinking
gases
that, but
onto it?
I don't know enough about. Like, yeah, we took that one astronomy class.
Yeah, we took astronomy, but I don't remember much
We
in
weren't
that class.
very good in that class.
No, we weren't.
But we took it.
And ever since he mentioned that people mix up astronomy and astrology, like the two words, I mix them up.
I
now.
know. I
never
thinking
did that until he mentioned it. Now I mix them up a lot.
I never did that, even after he mentioned
I said
it.
astronomy, and I had to like think. I was like, did I say the right word there?
Yeah.
Although I do have to stop myself every so often before I say it and just like, wait a second. Which one is
I'm
right?
always just like astronomy or astrology, whichever one it is.
So yeah, it's not gonna be a floaty jump.
Okay.
Because if
I
it's
just making
floaty,
sure.
it'll waste time and also
I wasn't
not be
making it a
precise.
floaty jump. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it right.
And I'm pretty sure that the jump that was already in the game, like the mechanics that he made, that's
Oh, I
basically
deleted all his stuff.
as programmers do. All right, fair enough. Speaking of which, I remember this one guy was talking to me about this is completely off subject, but I think it's pretty cool. This one course that he took for programming, where in the beginning of the year they had to make this really backwards, horrible program that did something very specific, and then as the final project, they switched the program to have someone else work on it and try and make it more efficient without them knowing what
Oh
what
my.
was inside the program. And it was just to teach them never to actually make a program like that, because you never know who's going to be working on it, and two, to be able to work with anything. No
That
matter
makes
what.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, I probably could have worked with his code, but I didn't want to. That's just, I guess, a personal preference there.
I mean, it's kind of like how I had to redo all the cat animations.
Because you had some and you just didn't want.
Oh, gosh, we should actually post my old sprite sheet for the cat animations because they were so bad.
Yeah.
The walking looked really bad, and the running was just the sped up walking. And then a lot of times it looked like, if you animate it, it looked like they were moving backwards when they weren't.
That could be something for Facebook or Twitter.
I guess.
Just a free thing.
You put it
Yeah.
on, yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on free.
Because,
on
I mean, we
Patreon,
need
too.
more things on Facebook and Twitter anyways.
Yeah.
I can't constantly just say, come join Patreon.
You could say it under the free thing that you're putting up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I need something at least. That's, I think, about everything that we've worked on. I know that I've been busy with legal stuff, with the business, like I said. Natalie has been busy with her laptop. Charger working.
I mean,
She
I
did
did quite a
stuff.
bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
she
Yeah.
was showing me the my animations in game. I'm just like, it filled me with a lot of energy, like, and motivation. I was just like, it
Which you've
feels
been
so
lacking.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I've been lacking. It feels so good to actually see it in the game and actually, I'm just like,
It was a lot of fun putting it in. They made an idle animation for left and right because the gun is on. They didn't like want to make it like just flip over because they wanted it to be consistent with the
Yeah.
gun. And so like I had to figure out how to make the idle animation because there's no way to do that in one layer, and so I realized there's like multiple animation layers within Unity, and you have to like turn one off and turn the other on in code.
Yeah, that's a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
I remember the other programmer having to deal with that, and he basically was working on it a little bit, then he just stopped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just got a challenge. I was like, I'm in challenge mode now. I'm gonna figure out how to make this character move.
Oh, that's good.
There we go. That shows a little bit more motivation.
Yeah.
But so after that, Megan started to actually get a little bit more motivated after seeing everything. I think that she
Yeah.
needs to see more, though. She's been feeling a little less motivated now.
Since my computer died, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll need to buy another charger for that. That shouldn't be too difficult. Hopefully they're not going to send another dud, though.
All right,
I'm
when we're
hoping.
in the ship, and we're picking the character select, do you have a background image you guys were thinking about for that? For the
Oh.
character
It was just going to
select?
be a start menu, which we haven't even made yet.
Okay, I was just making sure, seeing if you had a start menu or a select menu or not.
No, we needed to figure out what that's going to look like.
Oh, you're the
Although
graphic
now
designer, Nadley. We can work with you on that.
You
Now
can.
that you've mentioned it, I have a few ideas.
I figured they'd be in the ship. I thought that'd be the most consistent, seeing as they walk out of the ship and you start playing.
I have a few ideas of them being on. You've never played Jet Force Gemini,
No.
correct? I'm the only one who's played that game. Okay
Yeah.
then. In the
Oh,
what?
Dylan's played apparently.
Oh, our sound guy. Dylan. Since you're here and you've played Jet Force Gemini, do you remember how you do the character select screen, where they're on treadmills and it's like showing their bio signs? Yeah, we could do that for the cats, where they're in like a workout kind of area.
A
where they're-
workout area.
Where they're
Well, I
doing,
mean, they need to work out in their ship, right?
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
on like treadmills, and it shows their bio life signs, and also shows like their special abilities and things like that.
Are
Send
they
me-
gonna be in their suits?
Yeah, they'll be.
Okay, good. Because I don't.
Oh, that makes
I
sense.
don't want to animate them outside their suits.
No, they're gonna be outside their suits
no.
with like little oxygen masks on, just
Oh
walking
no.
in place.
Just send me.
I
a
would just
clip-
draw them without their helmets.
Send me a clip of the game. That way, I can kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I know that we've already
'Cause I get it, but-
got in the design document, which you haven't read yet.
We just need them sit down, like I said.
We'll sit down after the
Okay.
podcast and we'll talk about everything.
Okay, good.
But I know that Jet Force Gemini is already in there as inspiration
Okay,
for to
cool.
look back on and actually figure out what they did, even though their game focused on several different planets and we're only focusing on one.
Oh,
So-
okay. That makes sense.
So we have a little bit more stuff to work on now, and I know that we're basically done with everything that we've talked about. I mean, that's basically September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still need to work on boss animations.
Well, I know you. What I mean is, we've talked about everything
Oh, okay.
that we worked on
Yeah.
for September. All right, so I've been Jonathan Moore, the lead game designer.
I'm Megan Slade, the lead artist.
I'm Natalie Thompson, the lead graphic designer and lead programmer.
Oh, okay then. And no special outro. You did a special intro, but no special outro,
I didn't
Megan.
feel like it.
Okay,
Booga,
then.
booga, booga.
You've lost motivation. I will see you next month.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.